Welcome back to Inherited Dawn. We are breaking down One Piece chapter by chapter, and today we're on chapter 31, The Truth.
And the truth is, a swordsman isn't much of a swordsman without his swords.
Oh, we are getting right into it. Roronoa Zoro, the man who wants to be the world's greatest, just got played like a fiddle. If you want to catch every single time Oda completely upends our expectations for a character, you should probably plant a flag on this channel and claim it for your own. It's the only way to keep up.
It's true. Just when you think you understand the rules of a fight, they change. Or in this case, the weapons are removed from the board entirely before the game has even begun.
And they changed hard this chapter. This whole arc, man, it started as this kind of goofy Peter and the Wolf story with Usopp, and it has just gotten darker with every single chapter. Oda is really showing his range here.
It's a masterclass in escalating stakes. We've gone from a boy lying about pirates to a very real, very deadly pirate plot unfolding in silence.
Exactly, and this chapter is where the silence breaks. Let's get into it because the first half of this chapter is all about Kaya. The fallout from Usopp's warning is hitting home.
It starts with a nightmare, which feels appropriate. She dreams that Usopp is the one attacking her, blaming her for insulting his pirate blood.
That is brutal. That is just a straight-up psychological gut punch. It's not a dream about Kuro, the actual villain. It's a dream about her own guilt. Her subconscious is literally creating a scenario where her harsh words to Usopp become reality. That shows you exactly where her head is at.
It's a manifestation of her deepest fear in that moment. Not just the fear of pirates, but the fear that she was wrong, that she hurt the one person who has been a genuine light in her life. The dream twists Usopp into the monster she accused him of being because it's easier for her mind to process that than the alternative, that she betrayed a friend.
Man, that's heavy. The guilt is literally haunting her dreams. She chased away the one person who was actually trying to help. She called him a lowlife, a liar whose blood was filthy, and now her own mind is throwing those words right back in her face. You can feel the weight of that.
It's the kind of guilt that wakes you up in the middle of the night, drenched in a cold sweat. So she does what she's been conditioned to do for the past 3 years when she feels unsafe or unwell. She goes looking for Klahadore, for that sense of safety he provides.
For her anchor, right? The calm, collected butler who always knows what to do. The man who has become a surrogate father figure since her parents passed. She's looking for that comfort, that reassurance that everything is okay, and that her nightmare was just a silly dream.
But she doesn't find him. The mansion is quiet, eerily so. And when she checks Klahadore's room, she finds something that confirms her nightmare was in fact a warning. She finds Mary, her other longtime servant, collapsed on the floor, beaten but alive.
This scene is so good. The art is fantastic. Just the single panel of her seeing him on the ground, the shock on her face. You can feel the world tilting on its axis for her. Mary isn't just some guy. He's been with her family forever. He's as much a part of that house as the furniture.
He's a symbol of the before her parents died, before she got sick, before Klahadore ever arrived. Seeing him bleeding and broken on the floor is a visual representation of her entire safe world being violently dismantled.
And this is where her entire world shatters. Mary is just barely conscious, but he gets the words out. Klahadore attacked him. Klahadore is a pirate. Usopp was telling the truth.
Each phrase is a blow. He confesses he overheard the plan, confronted Klahadore, and was struck down for it. He tried to protect her, just as Usopp did, and he paid the price.
Every single word is just another nail in the coffin of her blissful ignorance. The man she trusted, her caretaker for 3 years, the one she defended so fiercely, tried to murder her other most trusted servant. Imagine that level of betrayal. It's not just a stranger attacking, it's family turning on family.
It's the complete inversion of her reality. The source of her safety has been revealed as the source of her danger. The man she confided in, the one who managed her life, was only ever doing it to set the stage for her death.
And it gets worse, because right after that bombshell, Mary confirms that all the other servants in the mansion are on vacation. He even says, now that I think about it, it was Klahadore's idea.
That's the detail that elevates Kuro from a simple brute to a truly terrifying villain. It shows the depth of his foresight and his cruelty. The vacation wasn't an act of kindness, it was a strategic move.
See, that's the part that gets me. That's the cold, calculated Kuro at work. He didn't just plan an attack, he engineered her complete and total isolation first. He got rid of every single person who could have helped her, one by one, under the guise of being a good, considerate butler. Oh, you all work so hard, please, take some time off. All while sharpening his claws.
He created a cage for her without her ever realizing she was in one. He methodically removed every potential witness, every potential ally. There's no one to call for help. No one is coming. The phone lines are probably cut. He's thought of everything. This wasn't a plan he came up with yesterday. This has been 3 years in the making.
3 years. 3 years of playing the part of the perfect butler. The patience on that guy is insane. It's a level of long-term planning we absolutely have not seen from a villain yet. Morgan was a tyrant in the here and now. Buggy was chaos personified. Kuro is a venomous spider who has been weaving his web around Kaya for years, and she's only just now realized she's caught.
And what's Mary's advice in this desperate situation? Give him the treasure. Do what he says. Give Captain Kuro what he wants to protect her life and keep the village safe.
It's practical advice from a man who's bleeding out on the floor, but man, it feels like giving up. It just feels so hopeless. Don't fight, just surrender. Maybe he'll let you live.
It's the logical thing to do when you're facing a monster like Kuro. Mary has seen his true face. He knows what Klahadore is capable of. From his perspective, fighting is suicide. You don't fight a force of nature, you survive it. But it puts Kaya in an impossible position. Her inheritance, the legacy of her parents, or her life.
And not just her life, but the lives of everyone in the village. Because Kuro's plan isn't just to get the money and leave, it's to have his crew slaughter everyone to make it look like a real pirate attack, leaving no witnesses. Mary might not even know that part, so just giving him the money won't save anyone.
It's a dilemma with no good solution. But Kaya, to her immense credit, doesn't just crumble. We see her processing this horror, this absolute devastation, and then we cut away.
Meanwhile, we cut to the best pirate crew on the seas, the Usopp pirates. The kids are gathered outside the village, and they're starting to put it together.
They're realizing that maybe their captain's confession was the real lie. They're smart kids. They know Usopp. They're recounting how he took the blame, how he said, "I'll never lie to you guys again," and how out of character that was.
They know their captain. That's the heart of it right there. They know he's a liar, but they also know how he lies. He tells tall tales, he brags, he makes up adventures. He doesn't do that. He doesn't lie to make himself look pathetic or to hurt people. They know his heart.
It's a beautiful moment of loyalty. Usopp feels completely alone, abandoned by the entire village, but the few people whose opinions matter most to him are the only ones who see through the facade. They are his true nakama at this point.
They really are. And just as they're figuring it out, as they're resolving to find him and get the real story, they spot her, Miss Kaya, walking out of town all by herself. No guards, no carriage, just her.
Which is a huge moment for her character. She's leaving the cage. After years of being confined to her mansion, defined by her illness and her grief, she's walking out of it under her own power. She's not waiting for the attack to come to her. She's taking action. Even if we don't know what her plan is yet, she's moving. She heard all that terrifying information from Mary, and her response wasn't to hide under the bed. It was to walk out the front door and head towards the danger. I love that. It shows that Usopp's courage is rubbing off on her, you know?
His stories of bravery, even if they were lies, planted a seed. She's choosing to be a protagonist in her own story now, and her destination seems clear.
You have to think so. She's heading for the coast. She's going to find Usopp. She has to apologize. She has to warn him that Mary failed to stop Kuro. Something. But while all that drama is unfolding at the mansion, we cut back to the coast where the real fight is about to start.
To Zoro, standing guard, ready for a fight. He knows they're coming. He's standing there at the coast, completely on his own, just waiting for the pirates to show up.
He's the gatekeeper, and he looks so confident. He's leaning against the cliffside, arms crossed, just waiting. He has no idea what he's about to face. He's expecting a straightforward battle. He's expecting guys with swords and fists.
And come they do. The Nyaban Brothers, Bucci and Sham, show up, and at first, it's almost funny. They seem terrified of him.
It is. It's comedic. One of them, Sham, the skinny one, is literally quaking in his boots. Bucci, the big guy, is trying to hype him up, and Sham is just like, no way, man. Look at him. He looks like a demon. We can't beat him.
It's a performance. They're acting like they're scared to death, like they were forced into this. Sham is practically crying as he runs towards Zoro, tripping over his own feet.
And Zoro is just standing there, probably thinking, are you kidding me? This is Captain Kuro's fearsome crew? He's completely unimpressed. He just took on Buggy the Clown, who was a pretty big threat. And now he gets these two clowns? He's ready for a real battle, and he gets this. His guard is down, not physically, but mentally. He's already written them off.
But Kuro doesn't have an unimpressive crew. He has a crew that reflects him, and he is all about misdirection, planning, and exploiting assumptions.
Exactly, because in a split second, the performance is over. Sham's entire demeanor changes. As he stumbles past Zoro, the fear vanishes, and this cold, confident, predatory look takes over his face. The panel where his expression shifts is bone-chilling.
And then Zoro realizes something is wrong. There's a subtle sound effect, a clink, and a feeling of lightness. Something is missing. He hasn't been cut, he hasn't been hit, but the balance is off.
He looks down and he only has one sword. Wado Ichimonji is still in his hand, but his other two katanas are gone, vanished. And then he looks over and Sham isn't just standing there confidently, he's standing there with two of Zoro's swords strapped to his own back.
He stole them. In that moment of fake cowardice while he was tripping and stumbling towards Zoro, he lifted two of his katanas right off his belt without Zoro even noticing until it was too late.
Bro, that is such a power move. My jaw was on the floor when I first read this years ago, and it's still on the floor now. That's not a contest of strength, that's a contest of skill, a different kind of skill. He didn't overpower Zoro, he outsmarted him. He used Zoro's own confidence, his own assumption that they were pathetic weaklings, against him.
It's a perfect reflection of their captain's philosophy. Why meet strength with strength when you can use deception to remove that strength from the equation entirely? It's brilliant and utterly dishonorable.
Right. Kuro's whole deal is the elaborate, perfect plan, the 100 plans Kuro. Of course his crew fights the same way. They don't just run at you screaming, they put on a show. They use theatrics, they find your weak spot and they exploit it. Zoro's weak spot here wasn't a flaw in his swordsmanship, it was his assumption that this would be a straight-up, honorable fight.
He was prepared for a battle. He wasn't prepared for a magic trick. And now he's facing two opponents with only 1/3 of his fighting capability. This isn't just a handicap, it's a psychological blow. He was outplayed before the first sword was even swung.
This is what makes the Black Cat Pirates so interesting and honestly kinda underrated. They're not just strong, they're clever. It's a crew of assassins and schemers, not just brawlers. They use hypnosis, stealth, deception, and Zoro just learned that the hard way. He's furious, not just because his swords were stolen, but because he let it happen. He got played.
It completely reframes the threat. The danger isn't just Kuro's speed or his sharp claws. It's his entire crew's methodology. They're all cut from the same cloth. They'll lie, cheat, and steal to win, and they'll do it with a smile.
Man, what a chapter. It's just packed. The emotional roller coaster with Kaya and then this insane twist in the fight. But before we get into predictions, I gotta mention Oda's author comment for the week. He said the Olympics had him all emotional and that sports are amazing.
It's just a nice little slice of life. It's always charming to get these little glimpses into his personality. You can feel his genuine passion for things outside of manga. And I think that's part of what makes his stories feel so human. He understands the emotional core of competition.
Totally. He finds drama and excitement in real-world competition, and you can see how that translates into the battles he draws. The strategy, the unexpected turns, the mental game, it's all there. A fight isn't just two people hitting each other, it's a sport. It's a contest of wills.
The thrill of seeing a plan come together, or the shock of an underdog pulling off an incredible feat by outthinking their opponent rather than overpowering them.
Like a skinny cat man stealing a demon's swords right off his hip. That's an Olympic-level sleight of hand move right there.
Exactly, a gold medal in thievery.
Okay, let's get into what's next. We are on the edge of a huge battle here. If you've got a theory of your own about how Zoro gets out of this or what Kaya's planning, drop it in the comments. We read every single one.
I have so many questions about what happens next. There are a lot of moving pieces. Zoro is compromised, Kaya is on the move, and Usopp is somewhere stealing his nerves.
The captain is getting his beauty rest. A true leader delegates. All right, my turn first. Prediction 1. Zoro is going to be forced to fight this entire battle with just one sword, and he's going to struggle. This isn't going to be an easy win where he just magically gets his swords back in 2 pages. Oda is establishing his credentials, and he's going to do that by showing that even Zoro can be pushed into a corner when he's not at 100%. We're going to see the foundation of his swordsmanship, his one sword style, put to the absolute test.
I can see that. A test of his raw, fundamental skill without a signature style. It forces him to adapt and overcome a true disadvantage, not just a stronger opponent.
Exactly. It builds character. Second prediction. Kaya finds Usopp. She's heading straight for the coast where she knows he is. There's going to be a huge emotional moment where she apologizes, and that's what's going to give Usopp the resolve to truly become the brave warrior he's always pretended to be. Her belief in him after she scorned him will be the catalyst. Her faith will make his lies real.
That feels right for their arc. His lie becomes the truth because she chooses to believe in the man behind it. It would be a powerful turning point for both of them. Okay, my turn.
Let's hear it.
First, the Nyaban Brothers' fighting style is going to be entirely based on acrobatics, speed, and coordinated attacks. They won't just stand there and trade blows with him. They'll be like gymnasts, using the environment, flipping and climbing along the cliff sides to stay out of the direct path of Zoro's single blade. They will use their numbers and agility to constantly harass him from multiple angles. They won't fight him head on.
Ooh, I like that. Using their cat-like agility. That makes perfect sense. He's got one sword, so his range of attack is more limited. If they stay mobile and attack from his blind spots, they could totally overwhelm him. That's a great call.
My second prediction, and this is about someone we haven't seen this chapter, Nami. She knows there's a mansion full of treasure and a pirate crew about to attack it. She is absolutely going to use this chaos as a distraction to try and get the treasure for herself. While everyone is fighting for their lives on the beach, she'll be trying to sneak into the mansion.
That is 100% a Nami move. That is so perfectly in character, it's not even a prediction, it's a spoiler. While they're fighting for their lives, she's fighting for the bag. I love it. She sees a pirate invasion as a business opportunity. Classic Nami.
Her priorities are very clear. And for my third prediction, Luffy is going to show up at the most inconvenient possible moment. He'll probably be drawn by the sound of the fighting, and he's going to appear out of nowhere, landing right in between Zoro and the Nyaban brothers, completely confused about what's going on.
Yes, a classic Luffy entrance. He just appears out of nowhere and makes a complicated situation 10 times more chaotic. I can see it perfectly. He'll just pop up like, huh? Are we having a party? While Zoro is bleeding and fighting for his life. That's a good set of predictions. Very solid.
We'll see next week if any of them come true. There's also the question of Django the hypnotist and the rest of the crew. They can't be far behind.
Oh man, I totally forgot about Django. Yeah, this situation is about to get a whole lot weirder. I can't wait. This arc is heating up fast, and it feels like the first time the whole crew, or, well, the proto-crew, is really being tested as a unit, even if they're all in different places.
It's their first true trial by fire against a truly intelligent and malicious force.
It's gonna be super. All right, everyone, that's it for this chapter. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss our breakdown of Chapter 32. Until then, thanks for listening to Inherited Dawn.
Be well.